Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video and another Fall of Ulduar mini set card review. The Warrior cards, they've been revealed. They're actually insane. They're all like almost all armor based. New legendary, new forge card, new incredible AoE. Warrior might be tier 1, tier S in standard and wild with all the supported getting all the buffs. It's been nuts and they were so bad for so long. So it's kind of why it's happening. And well, if you want to win some of these awesome cards, we have a giveaway going on for 2 mini sets out of my pocket. All you have to do to enter that giveaway is like and comment in the video description below, the one here that I have disliked because the content absolutely terrible, and be subscribed to the channel. Every 1,000 subs until the mini set comes out, I will add another mini set winner. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. We're just like under 300 subs. We're getting really close. So keep hitting that button. So yes, the Warrior cards. We finally got a Forge card. I just like tweeted out the where's Forge card monkey meme on Twitter. Where are they? Well, we got one, and Warrior got a good AoE. They've been needing it. They buffed Blade Storm, they buffed Trial by Fire. I feel like one of those might get unbuffed, Trial by Fire probably. But regardless, got a new spell here. So it's 4 mana, a 4 mana Forge spell, deal damage equal to your deal damage equal to your armor to all minions. So that's your minions, your opponent's minions. It's double-sided, similar to, like the old Shield Shatter, Warpath. A lot of the Warrior AoEs are double-sided, even Brawl, really, right? But if you forge this, you gain 3 armor before you play it. So you're guaranteed to get that 3 armor AoE. But there's a lot of ways to set up good armor gain currently in the standard metagame, in particular, the warrior weapon, right? The armor weapon. You just swing, gain 4 armor, play this. You got Flame Strike, basically, for 4 mana. You've got the 3 mana tradable spell, you got your hero power, you got ways to gain armor. And it's important to note for Wild, where even Warrior is doing quite well, this is even cost. You can play it there. So this is like a really big boost for both standard and Wild Warriors, which are doing quite well based all on Odin, armor gain, murdering your opponent with Odin. I already seen the complaints, and I feel like they're only going to go higher as Warrior gets more support. And yeah, like Warrior really needed that extra AoE, a good AoE. I could see like a Blade Storm being cut, or more just redundant AoE. That's a good option. I just think this sees play in both formats. It's a really solid card. It is obviously bad on 4 if you have no armor. It's basically a dead card, but it's reliable enough to set up, and if you forged it, then you can alleviate that issue. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 in standard, a 4 out of 5 in wild, because yeah, even Warrior's a really decent deck, particular trying to combat all the warlocks, the aggros. It just crushes aggro, and you play Odin, you can beat those slower decks too. It's a really versatile deck that was really lacking. Like there's like that 29th, 30th card that's kind of sucked. Well, Sanitize can sanitize that part of your deck. Oh my god, why did I do that? But I did it, and I don't regret it. Anyways, yeah, really good card. And there's more. We have Battle Worn Faceless, a 2 mana 2/2 minion, Battle Cry, transform into a copy of a damaged minion. If that seems familiar to you, it's, well, Bloodsworn Mercenary was a really good card that cost 1 more mana, had a bit less stats, and you choose the damage friendly minion, you would summon a copy of it, you would keep the 3/3. This just becomes the copy of that. We've seen this be very powerful. Particularly like an Enraged Warrior could absolutely utilize this. Like, they buff up their minion and play this for dirt cheap. This is so unbelievably cheap, and it's of a damaged minion. It's not even like friendly. It can be enemy. It just seems like another really, really good card, really scary card. You could copy possibly like a Titan, like all sorts of stuff, right? Like if I'm reading it correctly, it's a straight up copy of it. The 2/2 will just go away and you become that minion. Again, really scary card. I don't know, it doesn't really slot into, I don't think, like the Armor Warriors or anything like that, but Tempo Warrior, Enraged Warrior, this is such a powerful style of card that it could slot into a lot of different stuff. Be really good. This effect for 2 mana seems broken. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't immediately know. Hell, you could play this like Enraged Grom and play this Battle Worn with that for 10 mana. I mean, that's not gonna happen. That's way too slow, but still, like, that is just a ridiculously cheap copy card that does, obviously, you need to get that damaged minion, but still, really scary. I'm going to give it a 4 to 5 in Standard and Wild too. Like, this is an absolute ridiculous power level. I mean, look at Bloodsworn Mercenary. This card got nerfed to a 2/2, was still busted, and like, yeah, you got, you know, the body and all that, but still, it's, that card saw a lot of play for a long time. I expect this card to pop up in decks here and there. It seems awfully good. And then lastly, we have the Warrior Legendary General Vizax. Vizax? I don't know. Again, I'm going to be butchering this. It is a 7 mana, 7/6 minion, so you cannot play this in even Warrior and Wild, so this is probably trash in Wild. It has Rush, Battle Cry, you gain 4 armor. Death Rattle, lose 4 armor to resummon this. So basically, this stays on the board if you have a lot of armor. It's almost impossible to remove. It will consume the warrior's armor, which is relevant because they could end up dying because of that. But you play this, they gain that initial 4 armor guaranteed. So once this dies, it'll consume that. They'll get another 7/6 with Rush. So that's like 2 7/6s for 7 mana, basically guaranteed as long as this dies and attacks again. And it can keep doing that endlessly as long as you have the armor to sustain that. And well, Armor Warrior does that quite a bit. There is the downside, of course, though. Again, you're losing that armor, right? You lose it. It's not like it just it gets it for free. This isn't an infinite minion in that regard, but it does allow for some pretty versatile plays. And the fact that it initially gives you that 4 armor, let's say you have Odin on the board or active, you can deal 4 to the face, right? It might get, the armor gets consumed, but your attack doesn't. It just seems like a solid card to help fight for the board. It's kind of scary if you have a lot of armor, like it's just never leaving the board. Like, how do you kill this? You just can't unless you silence, transform, all of that. Or I guess you just start smorking the opponent and take their armor away. But I think it could slot into those decks. It's not an Odin, it's not broken like that, but I do think it's a really solid card for Standard. Not so much Wild, where again, it's odd cost. You could play it in Odd Warrior, which is not a thing at all. I hear Baku's not such a great card and all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna give it, I'll give it a 4 in Standard too. All these Warrior cards seem really strong. Ironically, I feel like the Legendary might be the weakest of the 3, possibly, but it could also just be outright crazy. Like, I don't think if there's any way it's not decent, the fact that you standalone just get that initial armor and resummon pretty much guaranteed, it seems really good. So I'll give it a 4 in Standard, and I'll give it a 2 in Wild, where again, if it was even cost, this is like 6 mana, broken, right? But unfortunately, not the case. So that's the Warrior cards. Warrior not just getting trash anymore. That's good to see. Speaking of classes that don't really get trash, Rogue will be later on today, so we'll have one more Rogue review, and that means there's one more class Legendary to be revealed, and we also are waiting the Yogg Titan. We know Yogg is coming, and we know it's a Titan, so we have to see what the heck it's gonna do. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.